I've been working with a Nourish dietitian for the last 6 months, and it's been life-changing. I've lost weight, healed my relationship with food, and have way more energy. Working with a dietitian online to create a personalized nutrition plan was so easy thanks to Nourish. The best part? I pay $0 out of pocket because Nourish accepts hundreds of insurance plans. 94% of patients pay $0 out of pocket. Find your dietitian at usenourish.com. That's usenourish.com.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Julia. This is Two Non-Critics and a Cat. I am here live in my bedroom. Martina is in her house, and Federica looks like a hobbit in her house. Hello, everyone. How are you?
Good.
Hello.
Actually, I've just been watching The Hobbit. I was watching it yesterday.
I haven't seen it in forever. I should probably rewatch it.
Have you seen The Lord of the
Federica, how are
Rings
you?
in the end?
I did.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
of
no,
course
I
I
thought
did.
Julia, because she refused to watch it
You-
for a long time.
You know who I live with, so.
I know, yeah.
You
But
you live with a
also,
hobbit.
I still didn't particularly like it. It's not my favorite, but Star
Don't say
Wars
that.
became my favorite.
Federica, how are you?
I'm good. I'm cozy in my blanket on my couch.
Good,
So
amazing.
today we are here doing an honest conversation about the Oscars movies.
The
So
movies
we've
of the
seen-
year. So
The movies of the year, yes. So we've seen a
My
few
God.
movies during the week. Also together, we went to the cinema. We did a little trip to watch A Complete Unknown. And Federica has seen Emilia
The
Pérez, which she
Substance
has.
and Emilia.
yeah, I mean,
Which
she's
she
commented
has-
already last week on it, but
Yes.
we'll go a bit further, I think, this week.
Right, because I
Um,
wasn't there last week, so
It's true, you weren't there, you missed it.
yeah. I was
Does that
actually
mean
working on a
that you
Sunday.
don't actually listen to us when you're not doing the podcast?
I edited the podcast. How dare you?
Kidding.
Should
So
definitely
I
listen.
also
I'm
listened to
joking.
it.
I'm joking.
I have to
Anyway,
listen to it.
before we start, I just want to comment with you as a piece of news that came out this week. So I will read now the cast of a movie that is coming out next year, which we have Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Zendaya, Anne Hathaway, Lupita Nyong'o, Robert Pattinson, Charlize Theron, John Bernthal, Benny Safdie, John Leguizamo, Elliot Page, Samantha Morton, Himesh Patel, and Bill Irwin.
Is it then a mesh of all the other movies that all the cast that he ever worked apart from Killian?
No, because I don't think he's ever worked with either Charlize Theron, Himesh Patel, John Leguizamo. I don't think he worked with him, or Bill Irwin.
No, yeah.
Lupita Nyong'o, I don't think he worked with her.
No.
And Zendaya and Tom Holland. But
Yeah.
some of them he worked with already. But that's classic Nolan. But anyway, this is the confirmed cast of The Odyssey. Robert Downey Jr. was also rumored this week to be part of the movie. I don't know what to expect. I only say in Nolan we trust, because honestly, I'm so shocked by all of this, by the
Yeah.
cast, by the topic, by
Are we
the
gonna go to
leading
Sicily this
character.
year?
They are gonna go. They're gonna go to shoot there, from what I
Yeah. Are we going?
might be, might be, yes. So yeah, that'll be interesting. But I'm also excited for Steven Spielberg sci-fi movie. Colman Domingos had something very, very interesting about it this week. He said that it is a sci-fi movie, but it is about humanity and why it's worth, to
Interesting.
to be in this world and
As humans.
humanity. Yeah, exactly. Humanity as a species.
In the biggest time where AI is a conversation on
Yeah,
the negative
exactly.
side, I'm curious to see Spielberg's
Yeah,
take
I
on
find
this.
I find it very, very interesting as well. And they're coming
Yeah.
out both next year. And Emily Blunt is in Steven Spielberg's movie with Colman Domingo.
I like his hair.
Me too. Who knows? Maybe an
I feel
opportunity
like Julia
for
is
Emily.
disassociating from this
Yeah.
for some reason. I don't know why, but whatever.
No, I was just thinking. I sent you a meme yesterday about this, like the Odyssey and stuff like that. And I was just thinking what kind of like key he's gonna put it on, because I'm a bit confused on what he's doing and why there's so many people.
Also, I
'Cause, of
didn't
course-
understand who's the leading character.
Yeah, but giving so much time to so many characters that are so like to so many actors that are so good, it's so complicated.
I know, but he did that already.
There's always a way that like also big directors can actually destroy their work. So
I don't think there is ever too many good actors in a movie. Like it's great when it happens, you know. Like you wouldn't say that in the Lord of the Rings, for example. I don't know why we were talking about it, and I rewatched it for the 3 million times past week. But you have Viggo Mortensen, you have Orlando Bloom, you have Ian McKellen, Christopher Lee, Kate Blanchett. You're not Elijah Wood. You have an incredible cast.
Even in Harry
for
Potter,
me, it
is the
should
same.
have a little
Ian
bit.
McKellen. I don't know if I said that. Ian McKellen.
Yeah, but Harry Potter and the Lord of the Rings are 3, 8, 7 movies. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I get it. I get what you mean.
yeah,
Well,
it's 3 movies and then 6.
Well, The Godfather, it became a trilogy, but it wasn't supposed to be a trilogy, and it has a great cast. Ben-Hur is not a trilogy. I mean, I don't think you have seen that, but still, it is a bit like Oppenheimer in terms of amassing a great cast. But anyway, we'll see. It is hard for a director, I would argue, to direct so many like first-class actors. I don't know how he does that.
I feel like they all respect him in a way, so nobody's gonna be a prima donna.
So to the movies of the year, I feel a bit disconnected from this that is happening. Anyway, let's start from the most recent. We went to watch A Complete Unknown last week. A bit of background. Like you like him, but you're not.
I like him, and I like him. I'm not schooled about him, which is different.
Federica
knows nothing about it.
Yeah.
Probably knows 1 or 2 songs.
I have loved Bob Dylan for 15 years, which is why during the movie I was literally singing every single word of every single song. Said that, Federica, what do you think?
Yeah, it could have been better, I feel. Yeah,
the sound that she just made was not good.
It could have been better. I mean, it's like listening to a record of it, doesn't it? Like you don't get the background of why he wrote those songs. His life is just a lot of and he attended this concert, and then he did this concert, and then he got a lot of money and did this concert, and then he went back to do the original stage concert, and then he went back to that, and then he changed style and he did that song, and then he made that song with this person, and then I don't know, it was a lot of singing.
Yeah, also I feel that
good singing, but
yeah, I feel like the script must have been 10 pages, because the rest was him singing the songs, sometimes even a full one, like a full song.
Yeah,
most of the times was actually a full song.
That's what I mean. It's like you
much.
have there's not a lot of storytelling. There's just a lot of listening to him sing, which you can do at home with a record.
Which is better because it's not Timothée Chalamet, it's Bob Dylan singing. But anyway,
I feel like there was a little bit of Timothée singing, but not for all the songs. I feel, but I'm not sure.
I think he's done a lot of work on there. Like the voice is very similar, but I think they use the wrist picture for some stuff, which is controversial, you know, because they used it in the Brutalist.
I mean, it's controversial for people that don't know what that program does.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
And I was talking to one of our friends, Federico, who is a light engineer in person in movies, and he did say that for audio editing, they'll be using AI for a long time, for as long as it's been available anyways. And it kind of makes sense. It's like it has to be. It's not cheating, because normal people feel as if it's cheating, but if the source material is original and you're using it to improve it, but not to improve the quality, although you can improve the quality, but to improve the time that it takes to improve the quality, I feel like this is just a
No,
given.
but also this picture is nothing really. Like
No,
I have heard someone saying,
I'm
you know,
probably
that
gonna do that.
actor, Adrien Brody, like that actor that they use the AI to do his voice. And I was like,
I
no, they
mean,
didn't. What?
if we were not using technology to improve, then we would still have been cutting movies manually, and it will take ages as well as money, and it
Yeah.
will not look like it looks right now. Like it's a lot of ignorance floating around and
Yeah.
misinformation.
Also, they used the picture for Emilia Pérez as well to adapt the
Yeah,
voices of
and that
the
didn't
original artist to the
that
actor.
wasn't great, and it was an improvement, but
Yeah.
we will talk about that later.
But it was very targeted, this thing against
Yeah,
the
there's a
brutalist.
lot of politics around it,
Yeah,
and I
around the
feel
award
like,
season and stuff. But
yeah.
it's really
I've been working with a nurse dietitian for the last 6 months, and it's been life changing. I've lost weight, healed my relationship with food, and have way more energy. Working with a dietitian online to create a personalized nutrition plan was so easy thanks to Nourish. The best part? I pay $0 out of pocket because Nourish accepts hundreds of insurance plans. 94% of patients pay $0 out of pocket. Find your dietitian at usenourish.com. That's usenourish.com.
not deserved, honestly. Like they did a really good movie. Like this really bad publicity is not doing them well.
No.
But anyway, yeah, I think they used the picture for some songs. For others, I think it was just flat Bob Dylan. Like the scenes where you couldn't see Timothée, like when they're going downstairs in the pub, in the place where they're singing. I'm sure that's Bob Dylan. So
I feel like
Timothée
yeah.
was not. It was a full like imitation of Bob Dylan. It wasn't his interpretation of Bob Dylan.
If I can make a comparison, there's imitation and there's imitation. So the massively controversial movie about Amy Winehouse, Back to Black, that was a imitation, and unfortunately, it looked like in the end as mockery a little bit, but because there was a lot of pressure to try to be like her, so it ended up being like looking like you are trying to copycat the person. Timothée, I feel like it struck a good balance in the sense that it was a lot of impersonating Bob Dylan, but it did it. I feel like it did it justice. It wasn't a bad performance. So if I want to make a comparison of who's done it better, you do see a little bit the actor try to play the singer, but it doesn't pull you out of the story completely. Meanwhile, in Back to Black, if you want to make the comparison, yeah, that pulls you out of the performance completely because you look at that as like, I'm watching an actor imitating to a T a singer, and at the end of it, it's done the bad way. And I feel that's down to the director as well, and the direction that you give to the actors and how you want to portray that. So I feel like Timothée did an imitation, but it did it justice and it wasn't that bad. It didn't pull me out of the story, if it makes sense. But I do get what you mean. Like sometimes I could see him playing Bob Dylan, not Bob Dylan on screen, if it makes sense.
It's always a case of when you realize what the actor is playing, that's when you know his acting hasn't completely succeeded. That's what it is. So if you realize that is a movie about an autobiography, that means that the movie is not perfect on its own, or the acting is not perfect on its own. So I do understand completely what you said, even if I did like it, but that's probably not knowing a lot about the story. I just saw it like a movie talking about a person that was doing that was going on with this story. So that's
I
how
feel that's
saw it.
probably the reason why me and you liked it a little bit more than Marti, because Martina knows the artist, has a passion for the artist, for their music, so she was looking at the movie with a more critical eye. So it makes sense that for
so
you
this person
it
was
felt like
just
more
imitating,
imitating. Yeah.
No, for me, okay. First of all, I am biased. I have to say that because I am not a huge fan of Timothée Chalamet.
Oh, she said it finally.
I don't like. I think he's good, but not. I think he's one of the most overrated actors out there. Like he's really good. He'll be great. I said that a million times. He'll be great.
He has to
he's
grow
not
in the
great
craft.
yet. I'm sorry. He's not. He's not great as you think he is. He's good. Anyway, he did a good imitation, I think.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
but it's not what an actor should do, I think.
To be
It's not
nominated for an
an
Oscar.
yeah, it's not an
Yeah.
interpretation, you know what I mean? So Bob Dylan sings like that.
Mhm.
Now, in his private life, in his personal life, with his lover, with his mother, whatever, I don't know if he speaks the same way, if you
I get what
understand
you
what I
mean.
mean. It's not,
Yeah.
so it's not in a performative state all the time. That your voice is different when
Mhm.
you are performing or on a stage making a speech, and when you are talking to a friend or a lover, whatever. So, for example, I'll give you two. Timothée for me is a bit like Bradley Cooper in Maestro.
Okay.
Incredibly good imitation,
Mhm.
massively good, but they are performing, okay?
Mhm.
And sometimes I can see Bradley Cooper acting to be Bernstein.
Yeah.
Same with Timothée acting to be Bob Dylan. While, for example, I have then Rami Malek and Cillian Murphy, who also both won the Oscar. Rami Malek, in his, when he was talking to his friends, when he was talking to his lover, whatever, he wasn't talking in the same way that he was
Mhm.
Yeah.
talking while he was singing. You
Do you
understand my point?
think that's the reason why then we couldn't even understand him when he was talking? I feel like
Yes.
there was a lot of that because he was kind
Yeah.
of
I
mumbling
couldn't
through and it
understand a
felt like
word.
yeah. Okay. No, it
Also,
makes sense.
that's also why um singing,
Mhm.
he lacked, for as long as he was really, really similar, like the voice, but he lacked the
The passion.
soulful, yes, that Bob Dylan has, which is Bob Dylan doesn't sing perfectly. His voice is not perfect, but he sings with such passion and sadness and pain and everything that you just get captured by this voice.
So between the two, do you think that Monica Barbaro then did a better performance while she
Yes,
was singing as John?
yes. She was less similar
Mhm.
to John Baez, but in terms of like soulfulness,
Mhm.
she gave me more the same kind of feeling that the original John Baez does. Funny enough, sorry, funny story. While we were at the cinema, I said to Federica, John Baez was actually after Bob Dylan. She was Steve Jobs' girlfriend, and she she was shocked. But yes,
I
I
was
really
also
was.
shocked, to be fair.
yeah, John Baez was Steve Jobs'
I do feel
girlfriend for a
like
while.
in A Complete Unknown, both Monica Barbaro and Elle Fanning did a better job than Timothée.
I wouldn't say
Gotta be
better,
honest.
but
I prefer their performance.
mm,
I prefer their performance. Again, Oscar worthy? No,
none of them.
none of them.
I'm sorry,
It's
but
just
like
good.
how Monica Barbaro managed to get a nomination, it escapes me.
The word is in the nomination. Outstanding. Was it outstanding? No. Was it
My
good?
No.
God, like,
Yeah.
but it was basic though.
Yeah.
Like
It's
even
not outstanding.
no, but even the depth of the character, like this movie in
And
general, I
that's
have
the
to say, it
problem
is
with the film.
basic. It's
That's the
basic.
problem with the film. Yeah,
It's a
it
nice
is.
movie that you watch as a background, in a
Mhm.
way, to entertain yourself because it has good songs in it. But honestly, if you follow it or not, it doesn't change anything because it doesn't really add anything. Like, do you think you know Bob Dylan better now? You know he's an
No, not at all.
asshole, but we knew already, us people who love him. Uh, the thing is, so you have an opportunity here, right? There is already a movie about Bob Dylan. You're making a second one. So explain why this is the only singer, the only author of songs that has won a Nobel Prize for literature. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
this guy is a genius. His lyrics are poetry. That's the level of, he's
you don't
winning a
get
Nobel
where he
Prize for
got the
literature.
inspiration from. You don't
Exactly.
get what motivates him. You don't get why he chooses the kind of music that he chooses. You don't get nothing. You just get
Exactly.
him randomly popping up to a hospital to
To meet
visit somebody, to meet one of
his
his
idol.
idol, and
Yeah,
then
but
it
like
gets
in
thrown
the
into
movie,
this.
he's literally fucking and writing. That's what
Yeah,
he's doing in the movie. He's fucking and writing.
yeah,
Like that's how they show him, but it's not that way because he was very much influenced and also an influencer of the movements that were going on during his years. Like he's
you,
one of the main like hippies is considered one of the main kind of influence for hippie culture.
Which is mostly the reason why it was so hard for the public in the movie to actually understand his change of heart on his type of music. And they didn't understand that the words were the same and it was a heavy lyrics. But to be fair, now that you say that, it did not highlight enough the fact that he was changing the word with
Yeah,
his words.
exactly. His music
And
changes
he
as
didn't.
the word changes, but they
I
didn't
was
show
just
that.
looking at a story of a man that was doing his things. It did not even come to my mind that's what he's doing.
yeah. That's the thing. Like, if you don't know anything about the artist or where he was coming from, for you it doesn't feel like, oh, he's changing style. Well, he's an eclectic artist. It's fair to do, but you don't understand why everybody else is so pressed about the fact, oh, he's not singing how he
Yeah,
used to. It gives you
exactly.
nothing in terms of context. So as a
Mm.
story, it gives you nothing as a movie. And
Yes.
that's why it's not a best picture. It's not outstanding performance.
I've been working with a nurse dietitian for the last 6 months, and it's been life-changing. I've lost weight, healed my relationship with food, and have way more energy. Working with a dietitian online to create a personalized nutrition plan was so easy thanks to Nourish. The best part? I pay $0 out of pocket because Nourish accepts hundreds of insurance plans. 94% of patients pay $0 out of pocket. Find your dietitian at usenourish.com. That's usenourish.com.
And I understand how he made it there, because it's just a nice movie to watch. It's entertaining, but it's not something spectacular. But that being said, as you said, it was fucking and writing. Not unnecessary sex scenes in the movie, which
Yeah,
I
that's
Yeah,
good
that's
because
appreciated.
I've
what.
seen many. It's a very basic movie. Is it a bad movie? No,
No,
No.
but it's very basic.
yes,
Like I wouldn't. If it came out last year, I really struggle to think it would make the cut for the top 10 and Timothée Chalamet would make the cut for the top 5.
Probably.
I really struggle.
yeah.
Um, but anyway, if he wins, I will chain myself to the academy. Like,
Please don't do that.
no,
If he wins, it will be purely because Searchlight knew how to play the crowd. That would be it.
no, but like this would be a disaster. Like,
Yeah, I know.
also, honestly, I don't understand why society is so. And he's young. I understand. I get it. He'll change. He'll come to, you know, his senses. And like not to his senses. He's like he'll become a man at some point. He's really
Mhm.
young, poor thing. Like let him live. But like I don't understand why people are so obsessed in this society with other people that have such a ego. Because now he's a kid and he knows he's good and he thinks he's great. And I really don't understand this obsession with this kind of people. Like I really don't.
Yeah.
Um,
And maybe that would ruin also his way of putting himself out there.
exactly,
It will give him
exactly.
too
Yeah.
much confidence, and too
Yeah.
much confidence can easily destroy.
I don't think when he made Interstellar, let's put it that way, he was the way that he is now.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
It's
no.
not to put so much pressure on a kid like that is never good. Adrien Brody can tell you that because he won an Oscar at his age, becoming the youngest actor who ever won an Oscar. And he's been actually talking about it in this award season because he might win the second. And it wasn't good for him. Like he did, he had some trouble personally
Mm-hmm.
in his coming to become a man,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah, he shouldn't be rushing into thinking that, oh, this will be my only chance. I believe that he will grow in the craft.
I think he'll
But
win an Oscar at some point, by the way, a
yeah,
well-deserved one.
yeah.
I just don't think now it's the moment, But anyway, let's go ahead. So we watched The Brutalist as well, Feds and
Yeah.
I wouldn't spend too much time on it because honestly, we talked about it a lot in the last episode when Julia
Yeah, we
wasn't
did.
here. So it's not a movie
Not
for
for
everyone.
everybody.
No, because it is very long and it's also quite slow if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't find it slow, but I'm thinking about this really very short attention span society we live in. Like it is short as slow for most people. It's slow, and
Mm-hmm.
it's also it's
For
sad.
most people.
No, but like it is sad. Some people don't want to look at sad movies. I had a person asking me if it was depressing, and because they were deciding if they wanted to go watch it or not. And I said, yeah, it is a bit depressing. And they were like, okay, done. I'm not going to see it. And I was like,
You have to be in a particular mood for it. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Which is not a problem to be in a particular mood for a movie. The thing that you are denying to go and watch yourself to go and watch a movie just because it's sad, it's insane because like embrace all
sometimes
the
a sad
emotions.
movie gives you catharsis.
no, but I do
embrace all of the
understand.
emotion. It
No,
could
but
be
I do understand. I
absolutely.
think he meant the mood because honestly, for example,
Yeah.
this person loved All of Us Strangers a lot, which is not a happy movie. So I think he was referring to the mood or something.
Yeah.
We all are in different moods. I don't know if I would want to watch The Brutalist every day, to be honest. But
Or even
it was
watch
a
it
good
again,
movie.
to be fair.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't
I
think I
watched
will
it
watch it again.
once, but I don't
It's not
think
a
watching it a second time will give
Yeah.
me anything different. You know that I like rewatching movies at a particular time of my life just to get a
Yeah.
different feeling from it. But with this one, same as Seven Souls, I think it's called. I wouldn't watch it again. Like I watched it once. I loved watching it. It gave me something. I understand why it is a Best Picture nominee, but I wouldn't necessarily want to watch it again.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think I'll ever watch it again, but it's a very good movie though. I love the sound. Everything is a piece of
Mhm.
of the
There's
how
a
good the movie is. It's all connected, the sound and the feelings that you feel watching
it
it.
strived for perfection, and it
Yeah.
does achieve it, I believe. In multiple ways, it does achieve perfection.
Yeah.
Uh,
And the
yeah, completely.
performances as well, Adrien Brody and Guy Pearce especially are incredible.
Mhm.
I actually want to say this. How in Lord's name the SAG Awards nominated Jonathan Bailey for Wicked and didn't nominate Guy Pearce for The Brutalist?
I don't know what is done to the Screen Actor Guild Award, to be honest.
And also they didn't so they did the cast in a motion picture nominees are A Complete Unknown, Anora, Conclave, Emilia Pérez and Wicked.
Not The Brutalist.
No,
That's rough.
which I mean it makes sense since they didn't put Guy Pearce into it
Yeah.
or Felicity Jones, obviously makes sense. But I'm just like I'm so shocked by some of the nominees this year. Also, Felicity
Yeah.
Jones and Guy Pearce, they both made the cut for the Oscars actually. But they didn't.
Felicity Jones always makes the cut for the Oscars. It's crazy.
Yeah, she's another one. She has a really good career.
Yeah, she has a few Oscars nominated. I think she got one for The Theory of Everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very deserved.
where I liked her more than this movie, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, I have to be honest, in The Theory of Everything, I liked her more than him,
I
to be
knew.
fair.
I knew that.
You did say that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I liked her more than Eddie Redmayne is another one for me, like Timothée Chalamet 2.0. But they are very different personality-wise, because Eddie Redmayne is a sweetheart, and I think he's very humble and very down to earth.
Yeah.
Also, I think he's older also than
He's
Timothée.
older. I
A
think he's
lot
my. Is he
older.
my age? I think he's my
Yeah,
age.
yeah. I think he's a lot older. Even when he won the Oscar, he was a lot older than Timothée. No, he's older than us,
You just
Federica.
called yourself old, Federica.
No, he's older than
Well,
us.
I've done it last time as well. Like we know already that my 80-year-old soul is coming out.
No,
So
he's definitely older than us. But yeah, when he won the Oscar,
1982. Yeah, it's
he
yeah.
was he's
That's how
a lot
old it
older.
is.
Yes, The Brutalist. I think Brady Corbett at this point, because Denis Villeneuve is not there, he should win the Oscar for Best Director.
I agree.
The direction of the movie is definitely, I think, one of the main points of success of this movie, because
Yeah.
everything is linked together into making you feel in a certain way and making you think in a certain way. It's kind of it's very well directed, and
Mhm.
I really have nothing bad to say about this movie. It's just I would avoid some of the sex. It's useless.
Yeah. Doesn't
I
add up anything
understand
to the narrative.
yeah, he's impotent. I get it, but uh, yeah, I get it.
I don't
Like,
think like
I get it.
adding
That's
up
enough.
I don't think that adding up sex scenes will show more how he's coping with his impotence. It doesn't,
mm,
because it's his work, the way that he's dealing with his impotence, or the way that he's been powerless and get void of power in every aspect of his life.
uh,
There's no need to add up the sex aspect to it, to be honest. So yeah, I do agree with that.
yeah, and it's this sense of being submitted to
Yeah.
some sort of power, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'd
Uh,
be
but we
subjugated by
got
it.
we got that in many different ways. Um, I really liked it. I wouldn't watch
Me
again because
too.
it's very heavy. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
very, very heavy. But it is incredibly good. It's all feeling. It's all feeling. Really, it's not. It doesn't have like a plot like I don't know Oppenheimer where there's an history, a chronological order of things that happen. It's
No.
more about how he feels through different phases of his life. Really, it's about the character.
True.
Uh, and I think Adrien Brody gives
If you have health insurance, you might be able to see a personal dietitian for $0 out of pocket. Nourish connects you with a dietitian that fits your needs, covered by your insurance. Nourish accepts hundreds of insurance plans, and 94% of patients pay $0 out of pocket. Meet with your dietitian online and message them anytime through the Nourish app. With hundreds of 5-star reviews from real patients, you know you're in good hands. Find your dietitian at usenourish.com. That's usenourish.com.
an incredible performance. I hope he wins the Oscar. And there's such a depth to this character that he gives, and it's all on his shoulders. Really,
Yeah.
he's in
I
every
think
single scene. I think.
everything was explored properly, and everything was explored as it should have been, with
Yeah.
the correct depth and the correct respect for the
Mm-mm.
subject and for the person. So yeah, there's a lot of attention to details, and it was done to a T. So definitely, I understand why it was nominated, and I can appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I will highly consider this a movie that needs to be seen.
Conclave, Julie.
Conclave.
Conclave.
Mhm. Or
What do you?
conclave.
Sometimes the Italian comes out.
Conclave, conclave. I mean, conclave is an Italian term, so.
Conclave was a beautiful piece of reflecting cinema that I enjoyed more than an action-packed gladiator movie. I've said this before and I said it again. There is nothing wrong with action-packed movies. I'm obsessed with animes, action-packed movies, high-tension movies, whatever you want. but Conclave gave me an anxiety type that it was just if I was part of the Conclave. So I think it's very well done, and hopefully it will win something. I'm not talking about Best Picture, I'm not talking about soundtrack, because there wasn't much of it. And I don't think it deserves Best Pictures in general, just because it's not that heavy of a movie.
But you
But at
will
the
be
same
surprised.
I am very surprised, because I think that our friend Emilia Pérez just lost all of the nomination because of some comments that one of the
No,
actors did.
okay. I don't think Conclave will win anything at
Over
the
Emilia Pérez.
Oscars. But the BAFTA, though, they absolutely loved this movie. So
Yeah.
I think the BAFTA could give quite an edge, and we'll know soon in 2 weeks, quite an edge to Conclave and Ralph Fiennes in their race to the Oscars, to be honest.
I will watch it again. It's
Yeah,
one of
here
those
we go.
movies
Here we
that
go.
I will
Yes.
watch it again.
Yeah, when I
Same.
first watched it, it didn't fly with me. Like, I liked it, but I was like, like it's all the scandals of the church. You give one to each cardinal and make it finish on the wokest thing ever.
Yeah.
But then actually I thought about it again and again, and I really enjoyed it. Like, I would watch it again, and I'm kind of feeling the need to rewatch it again for some reason. Like,
The plot twist at the end was insane. I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
That's the point. I
yeah.
did not see that coming.
Also, there are some actors that just want to make you watch it in a way. Like Sergio Castellitto
True.
is amazing. Isabella Rossellini is very short performance, but good. Even though I don't think it's the best performance from a nun in the year, because sorry, but Emily Watson in Small Things Like This is something else. But whatever. It wasn't, a movie that was part of the award conversation. And then you
Well,
have Ralph Fiennes.
it's a personal movie almost.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. You have Ralph Fiennes, who is amazing. You have Stanley Tucci, that whatever he does, even when he cooks, for me, he could get an Oscar. I love him. So it's a very enjoyable movie. And by the way, to not see in the director category at the Oscars, Berger for Conclave, it's just what is
shocking.
going on? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There is James Mangold for A Complete Unknown. For God's sake,
Yeah.
it could be self-directed in a way, that movie. Like, it's literally,
So you could have turned on the camera and then leave, and it would be fine.
No, like, there's nothing special to the direction of A Complete Unknown, but Jesus, like, Conclave is great direction.
I feel like it should win the adapted screenplay. I found it interesting. I found the story quite gripping. Like, I was at the edge of my seat to try and understand what was going on. And it's a really tough thing to do, to make a bunch of priests pray, like trying to vote for the head of the church, interesting, and build it up and build it up, and one thing after another. It's like, that's the most boring topic that you could ever find, and it was interesting, and I really enjoyed it.
The funniest thing is that when I edited the 2024 recap for the movies, I still hadn't seen Conclave, and I found it to be so anxiety-inducing and so dramatic. And I was like, why is this movie so dramatic? And then when I actually saw it, I was like, shit, this is dramatic. This is actually getting me so much more than an action movie.
I enjoyed it
It's
so
just
much.
because everyone was like so over the top, and it's like, those chastity things and like all these things that you cannot speak of, and people trying to like talk over each other, like destroy each other. It was so weird.
One thing that I found really beautiful, and it's in the little things and the little small things that they put in the movie. Every time, like, you will see, that you have this idea of the church, and there was the background of people talking about chastity and purity and be humble and being the face of the church, where you poverty and all of that. And then every single shot, you will see these priests or these cardinals walking in with massive cars, smoking cigarettes, which is a vice on its own. And you're like, oh, wow. And even the smallest things will show you how contradictory church is in itself. And I really love that, because it was like in the smallest things that you would see how church doesn't even take itself seriously at the end, because it's all about wealth and who do you know and how much can you like create connection with one another, and it's all politics in the end, and it's still all about wealth. And the only person that is still abiding to the kind of rules of not wanting to be wealthy then turns out to be the biggest plot twist in the end, because it's the person that will never fit in the church. And I loved it. I really enjoyed it. It was hilarious. Like when you see all of them smoking and then getting in and be like, here we go again. And you're like, oh my God.
You see that kind of direction of that kind of directing move of like having that person tell him like to stand there, smoke a cigarette. And it's just like, that could have been easily a shot that could have done the Oscar. But for some reason this year it didn't.
Yeah.
I feel like you talked about Emilia Pérez at length.
It's giving too much attention to something that was mediocre. This is me being honest. It's like a real mediocre movie. Not well shot, not well thought.
Not well sung.
Not well sung. Not well acted.
13 Oscar nominations.
It's 13 too many. 13 too many.
No, but this shocks me. You know that actually I've heard many of the like the Oscar experts and many of the most famous podcasters on Oscars race saying the same thing, and they're like, I cannot believe this has the same amount of nominations that the Lord of the Rings or Oppenheimer got. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there is clearly something that it's like
I don't
this
know
time
what was in the air. Somebody must have been on drugs to slip it in there, because honestly, I've watched it and I had to pause and watch the last half of it the next day because it was too much. That's how I had to watch this movie. And I'm like, at first I was like, okay, they're singing, not really good songs, fine. The more it progressed, the worse the song became. They're out of tune.
At some point.
There's like, and I'm like, it takes a talent for a professional singer to sing badly. And I don't know if it was because it was the child having to sing in Spanish and she doesn't speak Spanish, but I'm really sorry. Nah. That was bad. It was real bad. And
13 nominations.
Nah, I don't understand.
Yes.
I don't really understand.
Okay, fine. And then I can make a prediction. Coralie Fargette, who's the director of The Substance, will not win Best Director, but will win Best Original Screenplay.
I really hope so.
Sure.
I really hope so.
I don't know why I feel that.
He has to. Like, gotta be honest, the outrage that not only just the Mexican people, but I feel like every artist should be outraged about this. Every person that's done a musical. If I was part of the Wicked team, I'd be pissed, man. He won a Golden Globe over it. How?
So last year, I thought Barbie was good, but a bit overrated in their Oscar award chances in general. This time with Wicked, I really feel for these poor guys, guys, girls, whatever. Like I really feel for them because actually, I think they are superior to both Emilia Pérez and A Complete Unknown. They
Absolutely.
are a lot on another level. So much work involved, and they were the most successful because they were in terms of box office. They were, and also I think Cinzia Erivo and Ariana Grande in comparison with
Selena
Monica
Gomez,
Barbaro, Timothée, Selena Gomez, all of Zoe Sardagna. I think they're just on another level, you know. And I'm and I'm not a huge fan of that kind of movie, and I'm not a massive fan of Ariana Grande. Like I have nothing against her either. Like I don't listen to her music. That's all. So I'm not like it doesn't come from a fan girl, you know. Cinzia Erivo, I barely knew who she was before Wicked, but I really feel for them because I think they deserve more credit than it is given to them.
Absolutely. No, it's like I honestly generally can understand how he won Golden Globe for Best Musical over Wicked. I don't get it. I will never get it. I'm not gonna be honest, the controversy now around this movie from the main actress, it came out from, probably, as you said to me, boring people looking to find dirt and going back on Twitter in 2021 just to see some awful tweet and everything. But
Yeah, yeah, 'cause
honestly,
people have nothing to do.
yeah, but honestly, it's like, I'm glad that this came out just to slim the chances of any award-winning surprises on this part, because it doesn't deserve it. It doesn't deserve it at all. It doesn't deserve to be there. It doesn't deserve to be one of the 10. It's not even close to one of the top 20 movies. Come on. That is too much. Nah.
I wonder who in 10 years will remember Emilia Pérez.
Nobody.
But I have to say that the same question could be asked for almost all of them. Because even the
Absolutely.
Brutalist, I'm not sure if in 10 years anyone will remember
No.
the Brutalist.
This year is not strong, and I know that it happens every other year, where you have a really strong year for movies and a really weak one. Remember that we're coming from a season what for half of the year there wasn't a lot of work, so a lot of stuff got green lighted.
That is true, yeah.
Yeah, but it's been a tough year for entertainment. But this is a strap in the barrel. This is strap in the barrel.
Yeah, but next year, for example, because it's there is always this cyclical kind of things with the awards, no? I mean, there are years that are very strong, like last year, but normally it is a cycle. Federica is right. Next year we have both Christopher Nolan, we have Steven Spielberg.
Well, not next year, because Nolan, I think, is 2026. So we're gonna skip 2025. Like this year, we're gonna skip it.
2025, no?
Yeah, but it's gonna.
You mean
it's not gonna come? Yeah,
no,
it's not gonna come out in 2025.
Yeah, it's true. Yes, it's true. But still, normally it's like 2 seasons that are not so strong, 1 season that is strong, 2 seasons not strong. It's normally like that, kind of like. And you have Spielberg working on something, Nolan working on something, Scorsese might be starting to work on something as well, from what I've heard. And there's really a lot coming out in the next few years, so we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, this is all I would say for today.
Yeah, I guess so.
Otherwise, this is part 1 of the Odyssey.
True.
In the end, I think Nolan will make a trilogy.
We can hope.
Well, if he makes it good, we're happy. His trilogies have always been good, so.
And normally they last 10 years. Because he normally makes another movie in between the first and the second, and another movie in between the second and the third. So in the end, we get the last movie after 10 years from the first.
Maybe the genius will be in making it in a trilogy in 10 years, because that's the length of the Odyssey anyways.
Wow. Or he'll make a trilogy in 3 hours, he'll make a trilogy in 3 hours, which is most likely.
That too.
Maybe it will be the next... The Lord of the Rings. Who knows? We'll never know.
I would do that. Oh my God.
Yeah. I think
anyway, bye.
Thank you very much for coming with us. Apart from my sister's anticlimactic ending, we will see you next week with something more exciting, and then the Oscars this year. And that's it. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Looking to improve your diet in the new year? Try seeing a personal dietitian with Nourish. Nourish has hundreds of dietitians who specialize in a variety of health concerns, including weight loss, gut health, and more. Meet with your dietitian online and message them anytime through the Nourish app. Nourish accepts hundreds of insurance plans. 94% of patients pay $0 out of pocket. Find your personal dietitian at usenourish.com. That's usenourish.com.